Hey all, welcome back. On today's episode, I'd like to take a small break from the whiteboard series to introduce another segment called the Costume Corner. This is where I'll be showcasing my love for costume making as well as the Halloween season. And to kick things off, I'm bringing you a behind the scenes making of for a recent Halloween costume I was asked to create. So to start this process, let's begin with the mock-up. Grabbing a brown paper bag, I begin to just crudely draw out ideally what I want the costume to look like. Taking into account the rough dimensions of the child, I just start cutting the brown paper bag apart and reassembling it with tape. Really just kind of trying to keep it loose and rough, and just keep in mind that it's just something for trying on purposes. Next, we move on to the foam armature. Now, I took a bunch of polyethylene foam I had saved up from some TV boxes. And just working with what I had on hand, I took the rudimentary dimensions of the mock-up and set out to just allow a little more room for the child, so expanding the dimensions a little bit. This foam, very easy to work with, hot glues together, very lightweight and flexible. And here you get the first real glimpse of what the overall final costume will look like. So my next task will be making the bricks come to life. I begin with a 2mm thick piece of red EVA foam. And from there I take several different texture pieces, including a hard sponge, some crumpled up aluminum foil, and I just begin repeatedly pressing it into the EVA foam to create the textures. Using the different materials to create a different variety, including a pen or something just with an edge to create a few scuffs or just general irregularities in the bricks. Next, I'm using a pretty blunt object. This is a sculpting tool to kind of just put in the scored lines of the bricks before beginning the wash process. Using kind of a red and a blue, just setting out to give the foam a few washes, let the paint soak in, just to kind of add to the layering and discoloration. Using some greens, some browns, just to vary it up a bit and add a little story to the facade. Gonna next be using a clear gel gloss, in which I'm kind of just dabbing on with a brush and a very just basic pattern, and it adds a little cool stippling texture, giving it a masonry look. And from there, the idea here is once they're all cut apart, they'll be scrambled up, and then when they go back together, they'll create a more organic discoloration. Next, into the texture and detailing section, using a few different techniques. So I've got a flexible modeling paste and just gonna mix it with a little bit of black to kind of give it a gray stucco cement look. And this will act as the exterior, the base exterior for the car garage. So here I've just kind of mixed up a little bit and spreading it on, giving it just a sort of slathered concrete appearance. Here you can kind of see the beginning stages from the concrete and laying the first bricks. Using some flexible modeling paste and the sculpting tool again, I slather a coat on and begin laying the bricks one by one as if I'm an actual mason. This just gives me a more authentic look of mortar between the individual bricks that I was going for. And that brings us to the final costume itself. Obviously, I skipped over a few steps, but I think you guys get the idea. So for now, I'm just going to take you over some of the final details in the costume. So here it is, the final. It's pretty lightweight. Let's bring this guy over into the light. We've got EVA foam here, cut apart with all the brick texture, hand laid, hand detailed. So I guess what we're looking at here is the original paper mock-up I did for try-on purposes. We tried it on, it was a little snug. And from here I just modified those dimensions. But yeah, this was really handy because I haven't had really chance to test it in stages on the child's body. So working off rudimentary measurements, just having, you know, just a paper mock-up, something to slide over the kid when I was able to finally see him. You can kind of see the inside, the structure of the garage is made of polyethylene foam. I think I said polyurethane or something earlier. It was a bunch of foam I had saved from one of the TV boxes. And it's nice, it's flexible, it glues together real easy, gives good support, but for a costume for a 5-year-old, you want a little bit of flex, and hopefully it'll stand up. Got little details in mailbox, grass, all textured out to look like stone and brick. There is inside of here, this is also just an EVA foam door. There is a magnet at the top, so then the door clicks into place. It'll stay open, and then to release you just drop it. We've also got on the side here a little electrical box for the garage. Got the armholes coated in felt, so it's a little soft because once this foam has been textured, it can get a little rigid, and since it's for a 5-year-old, don't want him hurting his arms or his neck on the foam. Oh yeah, also got a little air vent up here on the box. The back split, so when the kid is putting it on and off, it's a little easier to get on the head and the arms. Here, oh there you go, there's a better look at the magnet. So the door just slides up and clicks and holds in place. Inside here, one of the requests was this front window to be able to swap out a photo of the kid and his grandparents. You can go in through here, and this little 3.5 by 6 window, just you can just pull it out, swap the photo in, put that back in place. This just slides in out of the way of the garage door. And then a lot of the little details like this, real soft, it was just made with like this EVA foam, a lot of like craft modeling, paints up real easy, hot glue. That's the lighting details, the mailbox, the little door latch on the garage. The actual garage door itself is real flexible, so this is like a 6mm EVA foam, just sprayed it green. All of the bricks were 2mm. Started with red, just a candy red, and by texturing and adding a bunch of different paint and then cutting it apart, reassembling it, and laying the bricks one by one to give kind of a more organic discoloration amongst the bricks. This is actually the test panel I did before, so I was cutting it apart, laying, there's some modeling paste in there acting as the mortar, and you can see it glues the bricks onto the foam pretty well. And I guess if these peel off, just grab the hot glue gun, put them right back on. But this was the initial texture and glue test I did for the aesthetic of the garage brickwork that I'd be doing. You can see pretty much the final model comes out to be about 15 inches wide, about 16.5 inches tall, about 10.5 inches in depth. So tonight will be the first, I'll be handing it over to the kid, and it'll be basically the first fitting. He'll try it on, and if it's a little too big, that's pretty good. He can still kind of grow into it, maybe use it for a little longer, but we'll see how it goes. Here it is, the moment we've all been waiting for. Is this thing gonna blow his mind? Let's find out.
Oh my goodness, Lexi, look it.
Here, let's bring it out here so you can see it.
Cool.
And it slides up, and slides up, and there's a magnet that holds it, so it can slide down. This is just foam, so if the door pops out of the tracks, you can just pop it back in there.
Oh, okay.
You can actually put a car in it.
Oh, I know.
Because
Look
there's
at that.
a ramp.
Should we try it on?
Yeah.
Okay. It's got flex,
Oh,
so
wow.
put it over your head first,
Oh, there. That's easier.
and then you can do one arm at a time.
There you go.
How's that feel?
Wow.
Is it-
Behind a garage.
You're a garage. Are you so excited? Do you love it? You say thank you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what I feel like.
You feel excitement?
I feel like a garage.
You feel like a garage? Are you so happy that you're a garage?
Yeah.
And boom, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you again soon here on the Costume Corner.